They say the view from the 40th floor changes you. It's supposed to make you feel powerful, like a titan of industry looking down on the ants scrambling below. I'm standing here right now. My hand is on the glass. It's cool to the touch. And honestly, I don't feel like a titan. I just feel exhale. For 10 years, I came to this building every single day, but I never saw this view. Not really. My view was a gray cubicle wall, the blinking light of a relentless phone console, and the back of my boss's head as he walked past me without a word. My name is Alice. For a decade, I was Alice the secretary. Alice, get coffee. Alice, fix this spreadsheet. Alice, why isn't my dry cleaning here? Today, I'm still Alice, but I'm standing in the CEO's office. My office. And the man who made my life a live-in hell for 10 years, he just left the building with a cardboard box. Because yesterday, I did something insane, something impossible. I bought this skyscraper, and this morning, I enjoyed the singular pleasure of firing the man who thought I was nothing more than office furniture. Welcome to revenge beyond love. This isn't a fairy tale. This is how the invisible woman took back her visibility. You have to understand what those 10 years were like. I wasn't just a secretary to Marcus Thorne. I was his external hard drive, his conscience, his mother, and his whipping boy. Marcus was charming in that slick, corporate shark kind of way. He wore $3,000 suits and tipped waiters 10%. He was the senior VP of operations, and he desperately wanted the C-suite. I started working for him when I was 24. Bright-eyed, naive. I thought if I worked hard, if I anticipated his needs, I'd be rewarded. I'd move up. God, I was stupid. My day started at 6 a.m. His coffee had to be exactly 140 degrees. 2 sugars, splash of oat milk. If it was almond milk, he'd sigh. That heavy, disappointed sigh that made your stomach drop, and pour it into the plant on his desk while making eye contact with me. I worked through lunches. I stayed late to reformat presentations he'd butchered. I remembered his wife's birthday, his mistress's anniversary, and his kids' allergies, even though he couldn't remember my last name half the time. I became invisible. You know that feeling? When you're standing right there, holding a tray of documents, and 2 executives are talking about sensitive mergers as if you're a potted ficus. That was my life. But there's a strange power in invisibility. People say things around you. They leave things on their desks. You see the cracks in the foundation long before anyone else. I knew Marcus was sloppy. He cut corners. He took credit for his team's ideas constantly. But I swallowed my pride. I needed this job. The benefits were good, and my mother got sick around year 5. The medical bills were drowning us. I couldn't afford to rock the boat. So I became the perfect, silent, efficient machine Marcus needed me to be. The breaking point didn't happen all at once. It was a slow bleed. About 18 months ago, the company was hemorrhaging money due to supply chain chaos. Marcus was frantic. His dreams of the C-suite were evaporating. I had an idea. I'd been studying our logistics software in my spare time. Late nights at the hospital waiting for Mom's treatments. I realized we were routing things based on outdated algorithms. I spent 3 weekends mapping out a new system. It would save the company millions annually. I typed it up. 20 pages. Clear, concise. I put it on Marcus's desk on a Tuesday morning with a note. Marcus, I think this could help solve the Q3 deficit. Alice. He never mentioned it, not a word. 2 weeks later, the quarterly all-hands meeting. The big auditorium. Marcus walks on stage, beaming. The giant screen lights up, and there it was. My proposal, my diagrams, my words. "I call it the Thorn Efficiency Protocol," he announced into the microphone. The room erupted in applause. The CEO shook his hand. Marcus soaked it up like sunlight. I stood at the back of the room, holding a pitcher of iced water in case he got thirsty. I felt cold, numb. He hadn't just stolen my work. He'd erased me completely from the narrative of my own creation. But that wasn't the thing that broke me. That was just business. The thing that broke me happened 2 days later. My mom took a turn for the worse. The doctors said there was a new experimental treatment, but insurance wouldn't cover it. It was expensive, ruinously expensive. I went to Marcus. It took every ounce of courage I had. I knocked on his door. He was examining a new cufflink, still high on the success of his new protocol. I explained the situation. I begged him. I asked for a raise, my first significant ask in a decade, or an advance, anything. He didn't even look up from his cufflink. He said, "Alice, everyone has sad stories. The company isn't a charity ward. Besides, if you're distracted by personal issues, maybe you're not cut out for this high-pressure environment." Then he looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in years, with cold, dead eyes. "Go refill the coffee machine on your way out. It's blinking." Something inside me died in that moment. The part of me that wanted his approval. The part of me that was afraid. It just turned to ash. I walked out. I refilled the coffee machine. And I made a vow. He wasn't just going to pay for my mother's treatment. He was going to pay for every sigh, every stolen idea, every moment he made me feel small. A week later, my mother passed away. I took my 3 days of bereavement leave. I didn't cry at the funeral. I felt hollowed out, like a building gutted by fire, leaving only the steel frame standing. But then, the universe threw me a lifeline. My mother, it turned out, had a secret. A small plot of land in Texas, inherited from a great uncle, that she'd forgotten about decades ago. A geological survey company found something under it, something very valuable. The check that arrived from the oil lease agreement was staggering. It was screw you money. It was buy a new life money. It was too late for Mom, but it wasn't too late for me. I went back to work. Marcus offered a perfunctory, "Sorry for your loss," before dumping a 50-page contract on my desk that needed proofreading by noon. I looked at him, really looked at him. He was so small, so petty. I started my research. I didn't just want to quit. Quitting was letting him win. I wanted to dismantle his world. I knew the building's management company was in trouble. I'd overheard Marcus complaining about the declining service and rumors of bankruptcy. I did some digging. The conglomerate that owned our tower was looking to liquidate assets quickly to cover debts elsewhere. They wanted a quick, quiet sale. I created an LLC, Nemesis Holdings. Vague enough, I hired a high-powered real estate attorney in another city so there'd be no local chatter. I used my sick days to fly out for meetings. While Marcus was taking 3-hour lunches to celebrate his impending promotion based on my stolen work, I was negotiating multi-million-dollar loan structures and leveraging my inheritance. It took 4 months. 4 months of bringing him coffee, nodding meekly, and screaming into my pillow at night. The tension was unbearable. Every time he looked at me sharply, I thought he knew. Every time my phone buzzed, I thought the deal had fallen through, but the invisibility helped. Who suspects the secretary is buying the building out from under them? The closing happened yesterday, electronically. I was sitting at my desk, typing up Marcus's expense report for a client dinner that I knew was actually a date with a 20-year-old hostess. My phone vibrated. A text from my lawyer. Just one word. Done. I looked up at Marcus's closed office door, and for the first time in 10 years, I smiled. A real smile. This morning, Monday, 9 a.m., the weekly operations meeting. Marcus was at the head of the conference table, pontificating about Q4 goals. The room was full of junior executives nervously checking their watches. I walked in. I wasn't holding his coffee. I was holding a leather portfolio case. Marcus stopped mid-sentence. He frowned, annoyed by the interruption. "Alice, what is it? I didn't ring for you. And where is my latte?" I didn't stop walking until I reached the head of the table. I stood right next to his chair. "You won't be needing the latte, Marcus," I said. My voice was steady, louder than I'd ever spoken in that room. The room went deathly silent. You could hear the hum of the projector. "Excuse me," he sputtered, his face reddening. "Have you lost your mind? Get out." I opened the portfolio. I pulled out a single piece of paper, the executive summary of the building's ownership transfer. "I think there's been a miscommunication," I said, sliding the paper across the polished mahogany table toward him. "You see, the building has new ownership as of yesterday." He glanced down at the paper, sneering. Then he stopped. His eyes scanned the document. His face went from red to pale gray in seconds. "Nemesis Holdings," he whispered. "Who?" "Me," I said simply. "I own the building, Marcus. I am your landlord. And I am also your CEO's new boss, effectively, since I now control the lease renewal your company is desperate for." The look on his face. It wasn't fear. It was a total inability to process reality. It was like watching a computer crash. "You, the secretary?" he stammered. "Alice," I corrected him. "My name is Alice." I leaned in closer, so only he could hear the next part. "I remember when I asked you for help for my mother. You told me the company wasn't a charity ward. You were right. It's a business. And bad assets need to be liquidated." Then, I said the words I'd practiced in the mirror for 4 months. "Marcus Thorne, you're fired, effective immediately. You have 30 minutes to clear out your desk before security escorts you from my premises." He stood up, shaking. He started to bluster, to threaten. "You can't do this. I'll sue. I'm the reason this company is afloat. Are you?" I asked quietly. I pulled another document from my portfolio. "When I bought the building, I gained access to certain infrastructure records, including the secure server logs for the tenants." I tossed the second document onto the table. "During my due diligence, I found something interesting. You didn't just steal my efficiency protocol, Marcus. You've been funneling the savings from it into a shell company in the Cayman Islands for the last 6 months. Embezzlement, to the tune of $400,000. The silence in the room turned terrifying. The junior executives were pressing themselves into their chairs, trying to disappear. Marcus looked like he was going to vomit. "Security is already waiting outside with the police," I said, my voice devoid of any emotion now. I figured we could skip the cardboard box phase and go straight to the handcuffs. They led him out in cuffs through the lobby. The same lobby where he used to strut like a king. He didn't look at anyone. I took the elevator up here, to the 40th floor. I walked into his office. It smells of his expensive, overpowering cologne, That will have to change. I sat in his chair. It's comfortable. Better lumbar support than mine had. I thought I would feel ecstatic, like dancing on the table, but I don't. I mostly just feel relief. I looked at the photo of my mom I keep in my wallet. I couldn't save her. The money came too late. But I think she'd be proud. Not that I bought a building, but that I finally stood up. The invisibility is gone. Everyone knows my name now. I don't know what tomorrow brings. I have a company to help run, a building to manage. It's terrifying. But for the first time in 10 years, the fear feels good. It feels like growth. I'm going to change the view from up here. I'm going to make sure no one in this building ever feels invisible again. Thank you for listening to my story. It's a long road from the secretarial desk to the owner's suite, and sometimes you have to burn the bridges to light your way. If you believe that sometimes justice needs a little helping hand, and if you enjoy stories where the underdog doesn't just bark but bites back hard, please welcome yourself to our community. Subscribe to Revenge Beyond Love and like this video. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that they are stronger than they think. Until next time. Remember, your silence is not your weakness. It's just you preparing the roar.